rock and roll kids. Rock and roll was all we did. And listening to those songs.
Let's see you later. Hey.
I was yours.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Eurovision Hub Hangout. I believe it's episode 15 or something by now. Thank you all so much for joining. As you can tell, we have a very, very, very special guest today and somebody very close to my heart. Miceal, who is it?
We have Lesley Roy, everybody.
Woo!
Hi, folks. Hi, how's it going?
Look at guys, as you know, we've got Lesley on, so feel free to start sending in your questions. She's more than happy to answer them. Lesley, thanks again for coming on. We know that you're flat out doing the concerts. We know you did the pre-parties and stuff like that, so thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. I love what you guys do. Like you said, all year long, we're talking before we get on here, and you guys are such true fans of the music and the artists. So thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you. And also, guys in the chat, and it's someone's birthday today. So I think
we have something.
Oh.
Hold on. That's why I had the lighter ready.
Oh, Lesley, thank you.
Cake. So you gotta sing a happy birthday. Guys, you ready? Okay.
Cheers.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Louise. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna blow it up for you, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Make a wish. Make a wish.
Lesley for 2021.
No, you're not supposed to say it out loud.
Thank you so much. That made my day, honestly. Thank you so much. That is so lovely. And chat, thank you. Danny in Australia, our reactor, has gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to say hello and show support. So Danny.
Danny, fair play.
Fair play. And Lesley,
hi, Danny.
That's so sweet. Enjoy the cake on my behalf.
Okay, I definitely will.
Well, we are here today to talk to you and pick your brains, Lesley. So I think we should just get straight into it. And I'm just dying to know, and I know a lot of Irish fans in general are dying to know what is, from the moment you heard that you were selected, right, or even before that, when you knew you were in contention or applying and sending in your songs, how has the process of the road to Eurovision been?
It's definitely highs and lows, for sure. Highs, lots of great highs, and then obviously, as we all know, one massive kind of a blow. But it's been a longer process, obviously, than just the last few weeks. I think I kicked it off with sending in the song to RTE maybe end of November, December. So I've been in this whole kind of cycle now since then. And I think there was about 400 to 500 other songs that Ireland, all Irish songwriters and artists had sent in as well. It's an internal selection, but it's still all open submission. It's not just signed artists or published artists. It's still, if you're, a truck driver and you can write a song, you're still sending it in. So it's still a selection process. So I think there was about 400 songs, and I'd gotten a call, I think early December, from RTE that it was in like the last few shortlists from a few different people. I think they've had it extra groups whittle it down through 2FM as well this year, which was also a new thing. So they whittle it down, and I spoke to Miceal in RTE, who is our head that does everything for all the Irish artists for the Eurovision. And he said, look, you're in these last few shortlists. What do you think? I'm like, well, and like, obviously I can talk to you over the phone, or I can do you one better. I'm going to be home in Dublin for Christmas. How about I just come into RTE and I kind of give you like my spiel and a little pitch and what I would love to do for Ireland in the Eurovision. So anyway, sorry, to kind of make it a little bit quicker, I talked to him. We had a great conversation, and we wanted to just get over Christmas before they decided, and I think went through one more song that they were thinking of. But I think, story of my life, and what I'll continue to always say about it is, it's so different for an Irish entry. It did inject a lot of energy and life. And sorry for the sirens going by. You might hear them a lot. The ambulance going in New York City, but we wanted to do something a little bit different, and I think we still accomplished that, even though the show itself isn't happening. So then, yeah, they called me early January, and we got the ball rolling.
Wow. And what was your reaction?
I mean, I really wanted to do it. I still, hopefully, and we can talk about that afterwards. I still would love to do it. I'm a Eurovision fan, outside of being like a professional singer songwriter and artist who has toured all over the place. I would love to do it. So I was so excited. I was delighted. I really was, and I just was ready to get into the mindset of, okay, how do we make this so different and much bigger for Ireland? So we got working pretty quickly with This Is Pop Baby, who are an outside hire as well, with Philly McMahon. So we got working with them fairly quickly too, on trying to piece together what they could bring to the table as an artist as well, basically.
I think as an Irish fan, I think Louise will agree with me, to hear an artist talk about Eurovision so passionately, I'm just like, my heart is so full. I'm like, yes, because I have to admit, sometimes it's not easy to be an Irish Eurovision fan. Yeah. So to hear your passion and drive for it and what you want to do for Ireland, I'm like, yes. And I think the chat is definitely with me on this one. Hashtag Lesley for 2021. Let's get it again.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel to like see that support?
Well, I definitely feel then I've accomplished what I thought I was going to get done. Like, I've gotten the fans like yourselves excited. I've gotten people that were a little bit over it in Ireland, and I think maybe, and our Spanish guys can maybe attest to this a little bit, from what other outside of Irish Eurovision fans are kind of a little bit maybe like wanting a bit more energy from Ireland over the past little while. Not because there's nothing wrong with any of the other entries, but just like a bit of a different approach maybe. Mm-hmm. So if they're happy, and I think for the most part people were delighted with Story of My Life, then I feel I can sleep. Maybe I'll have a little sleep tonight after that. I'll feel relieved a little bit.
Did you have any other songs lined up to possibly send to RTE? That's what I want to know. Like,
well, I definitely have a large catalogue. So I do write for all our artists, and I write a lot of film and TV, and I've toyed with putting out a lot of my own EPs over the last few years, which I never did because I'm a psycho perfectionist, if I'm completely honest. So there is a few songs that I've gone back and forth about a lot, in particular over the past 2 years, because I really started to think about maybe entering the Eurovision, and there was one, but when I kind of put them up against each other before I sent anything, why Story kind of kept cutting through was just the energy and the feel of it, and how I think it's fairly universal to everybody.
Yes, and I think it gave a lot of people like a nostalgic feel as well, like the sound. I think Joan agrees. It's you like it, don't you, Joan? You love it.
A lot. When we did our reaction video for your song, I think that Louise and some other reactors were saying that your song gives us the early 2010s vibe, like Katy Perry, something like Avril Lavigne. It's a very energetic song and so cheerful and powerful that it's so uplifting, and we really liked it. Good,
thank you. Yeah, no, and a lot of that was purposely done. I think sometimes when people say, and I'm a fan, and I'm like a perfectionist songwriter, and I take my like pop writing like very seriously. So I've watched a lot of the reactions and what people say, and I think sometimes when people say it's dated, or it sounds like Katy Perry or Kelly Clarkson or early 2000s, I did that specifically for a nostalgic feel. Like, it wasn't anything done by accident. It was purposely do that. Kind of like Iceland has a very old throwback 70s sound, and by throwback, it's not a bad thing. He purposely did
not
that
at all
to create that vibe, and
I agree.
I similarly wanted that vibe. So
for sure. And you've also worked with a ton of artists like across the globe and across the genres. So I'm sure you, like, did you take inspiration from, you know, plenty of other songwriting experiences you've had over the years and other artists you've worked with?
Yeah, I mean, well, speaking of, I mean, I did write with Katie. Katie and I worked on my album in the early 2000s, like 2008. We wrote 2 songs for my album on Unbeautiful. One of
Iago
which
is a huge Katy Perry fan.
yeah. So we spent, you know, a good solid 3-4 weeks in the studio with Max and Dr. Luke working on pop songs. And like, I always take my, you know, 2 years that I spent in Sweden learning, really crafting how to write pop hooks and choruses that are going to affect people. I think anytime I'm in a songwriting session, whether that's in Nashville or New York or Dublin or LA, I'll always kind of bring in that backbone of, okay, I'm always going to try and write a story that everyone can connect to, but at the back of it, my first goal is melody and making sure the melody is as tight as possible. I don't know if that even answered your question, but
yeah, agree.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like sounding like Katy Perry being something bad. I mean, I can imagine saying that, but not me, not no one. Like, you sound like Katy Perry. Okay, that's huge.
That's such a compliment.
That's a compliment. Yeah.
A compliment. I mean, I wish, and a lot of people try to sound like Katy Perry or like these big artists, and they just can't. So for me, would be like a big compliment.
yeah, no, I definitely I took the majority of that as like super compliment. It was when, if anyone was trying to use it as an insult, it was just slightly confusing. But yeah, no, I've been very lucky with the producers and the writers that I've worked with, and I always try and just take everything that I've soaked up in all of the studios all over the world into whatever the next song is that I'm going to write. And look, I gotta write 9 bad songs to get to Story in My Life, and I'll continue to keep writing like that, because it does take a lot of work to make them as catchy as Story is, and like all of the other top 5 songs that are in the or should have been in the Eurovision this year.
And can I ask you more about the song, Lesley? Because there was one line in it I really liked, and I thought it was a really clever play on words. There's definitely a bit of like a rock influence in a lot of your stuff, and I loved the line, rock it all you want, but make it pop enough. Is that like something you've experienced over time in the industry?
Yes, thank you for noticing that. That's like one of my favorite lines, and it took me like a week to like get that like tight enough. And it definitely is. Like, this song is about me within the music and having ups and downs. Funnily enough, it also happened within the Eurovision of it being cancelled, but you know, it is interesting. We laughed. So before it was announced, the song, my name kind of circulated in Ireland that I might be the artist with you know, going to represent Ireland. So people were like, oh no, it's going to be too rocky. We don't want her. Like, no, we do not want it, because they were kind of referencing my old album. But then when the song came out, they said it was too poppy. So the fact that you know, you hear these things as an artist or as a person in the world, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too pop, you're too rock.
Yeah.
There's always going to be one person that doesn't get what you're doing or who you are. So that actual lyric is 100% I've experienced and been told in board meetings when I was writing my old album to try and push it this way, do it that way. But at the end of it, you just have to do what you like.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you can't please everybody.
You cannot. It's impossible.
Yeah.
No.
And staying as well on, like, just talking about Ireland and Eurovision, and obviously this is going to feature a lot today. I can speak on behalf of an awful lot of Irish Euro fans that, like, you are so loved and appreciated in the community. Like, the way you've interacted with fans on Twitter and Instagram, and that you're putting yourself out for so many live concerts and performances, like, it's so appreciated. And literally, we have an Irish fans group chat on Twitter, and I was getting all these messages today being like, tell Lesley we love her and we support her and we really want her to come back, and just like, there's so much love and appreciation being sent your way. And how has it been for you being a part of this Eurovision community? Because it's much bigger than people think, and it could be quite overwhelming, but it's also full of a lot of love and a lot of warmth. Like, how have you found it?
I mean, it's just that. It's like so warm and it feels like a family. And it was as soon as the song came out, it's so quick. Like I've got one, like comparison of when I released an album, and that's such a slow burn. You're touring and like there's performances and you slowly pick up fans or not fans. But this, it was like the Thursday morning when it came on to FM, it was just like thousands of people straight away, like, we love this or we don't like it, but for the most part, like, thank you for doing it, thank you for submitting it, we're so excited to see what happens. It's just been so nice, and I try and get back to everybody online because they're just great, and I'm so happy that they love it because I'm a fan as well, so I get it.
I've seen a few questions in the chat with regards to 2021, and I'm sure everyone's wanting to know, because a few countries have said the acts from 2020 will go forward. Can you give us a hint? Have you heard anything from RT? Has Miceal been on the phone to you? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, well, Miceal and I, we've still been in touch because we're doing all of the like Eurovision at home concerts and stuff like that. So we're still in touch. But I think, RTE's been quite mindful and respectful of what's going on in the world right now. And I want to kind of be in that same, bandwagon with them, is that I don't think it's the right time to discuss what anybody's going to do next year. Let's just all see if we can get out of this as healthy as possible. And obviously I would 100% come back, write a bigger banger, and fulfill this Eurovision dream that I have. But it would all be down to the song and discussing this after what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I would 100% myself come back.
Yes, that's what we
Woo!
We would love that too.
Yeah.
And when you said about like come back with a bigger banger, like has releasing Story of My Life and then seeing other songs and getting like constructive feedback, has that like made you think differently of what you would bring to 2021?
Yes, hands down, completely. I have pages and notes and beats and tracks already kind of starting a roadmap of where I will take it. It'll definitely be more modern. That's the first thing. It will be hands down more modern. It will sound like a brand new song for 2021. I'm toying with the up-tempo versus the ballad. I think that might only happen when I get into the studio, when things start to clear up here. But I'm definitely taking everything that everybody says, even if it's negative, with me to this next songwriting session. So yes, I'm approaching it from a surgical standpoint.
Can I just say, when you spoke about ballad, I heard you sing the Netherlands 2014 cover, and I messaged Louise and I was like, I didn't know the tone of her voice was so pretty, and you know what I mean? It was so nice to hear that side of your voice. Like,
do that.
Such a
Me
good
hold the singer too.
I know.
I can-
Yeah, you gotta do the lower and the higher of that one. I'm a huge fan of Ilsa's, and that song that she did with Waylon was so good, and I know it came in second, and that was such a tight year. And she works a lot actually with one of the co-writers of Story of My Life, Cat Rabbit, down in Nashville. Ilsa does a lot of work down there, and she's like so well respected within like the kind of very behind the scenes songwriters all over the world, that when people had mentioned Come After the Storm on Twitter, when I asked everybody, I was like, okay, aside from Eurovision at home concerts, I want to sing this and just do a little like snippet of it myself because I love it so much.
it was so nice to like see as a fan that you're actually a fan, and that, because I don't know, sometimes people say, oh, my favorite Euphoria, and I'm like, oh, that's just the biggest one. Like, tell us like what you really like. So if it's
True.
good, yeah. But yeah, so you're exploring different options then with regards to vibes for next year.
Yeah, no, I think, and I've written in a lot of different genres. Like you said, Louise, like I've done a lot of country pop. I've done straight down the middle pop. I've done massive ballads for like smaller movies. So I can put my voice in very different areas. And Story of My Life was very pop rock, because I wanted it to be, but that doesn't necessarily say that I won't do a very, very straight down the middle pop song next year, or a bigger, raspier ballad as well, or somewhere in between.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to inject a bit of a game into the Hangout, because we love our games. And guys in the chat, everybody watching, you're going to love this. I was talking to Miceal earlier and I was like, I know exactly how I want the quiz to be. I'm so excited. It's all about Ireland in Eurovision. Now, obviously, we all know what myself and Miceal are like. We will hop in and answer questions and get overexcited. So we're going to be the quiz masters this time. And we're going to ask the questions. And it's going to be a little bit competitive. We're going to have Ireland versus Spain. So it's going to be Lesley against Iago and Joan. Which team are you in the chat? Let us know. Are you Team Ireland or Team Spain? I know which team I am. Lesley.
Obviously, I'm Team Ireland, but now I'm like sweating. I'm getting nervous.
Don't worry. The questions are very straightforward.
Okay.
They're doable for everybody involved. So, Miceal, I guess I'll go first. We'll alternate the questions.
Okay. Let me get mine up here.
Oh, and while we get prepared, it would be good if you guys could come up with some kind of buzzer sound that you can. Iago, don't get stressed. It's okay.
No, it's okay. We Spanish are used to lose in Eurovision, so we're gonna be fine anyway.
I'm just gonna do a beep for me, okay?
Okay. I was thinking you could do na 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 na.
Okay. Okay, I can do
whatever you want to do. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Iago, Joan, any buzzer sounds?
I don't know.
Think of something Spanish in Eurovision. What's Spanish in Eurovision that you can use?
Flop.
Okay, Joan, you want to use flop?
No, I'm getting universo. I'm getting
okay.
uni.
Okay.
Support flop.
I'm going with Iago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to say everybody's names and just remind me of what your buzzer sound is. So Lesley.
Hey.
Iago.
Iago.
And Joan.
Universo.
Love it. Okay. Miceal, I'm going to go first and then I'm going to alternate back to you for a question, please. And actually, Katie, one of our reactors I saw in the chat earlier, said Miceal looks like he's on Mastermind the way he's sitting. So it's very fitting.
I'm allowed to sit in my dad's comfy leather chair today, so I was like, thanks, Dad. Okay. Open that offer.
Love it. Okay. Question 1. Can you name the Irish head of delegation?
Hey.
Lesley.
Michael Keeley.
Woo! I knew you'd get that one. Miceal.
At least I got one. That'll be it.
One up Ireland, yeah.
Okay, so question number 2. Which Irish Eurovision winner entered the contest on another occasion with the song Terminal 3?
Oh, hey.
Lesley.
Linda Martin.
Woo!
Oh.
God, you love that song.
I love that song. Yeah, it should have won.
Terminal 3.
Flights on time. No.
Tune. Lovely.
They're doing so well. They're answering them all. They're Miles.
Yes. Chunky. Love it.
That should be a point each. Maybe that can be a point each.
Don't give them a point, Lesley.
No.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice.
Don't worry.
Somebody said, "Oh my God, she's boss. She's killing it." Okay. Oh, sorry, Miceal. I think I stole one of your questions.
I think you did. I was just going to let you go with it.
Oh God, sorry. Okay. Next one. Which Westlife member represented Ireland in 2016?
Universo.
Joan.
His name is Nicky Byrne. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
I love
it. Thank you.
He is great. In the sun. Light.
Light.
It's not the one where it's sunlight. It's like sun and then a really long pause and then light.
Yeah.
Okay, that is 2-1 to Ireland. Micheál.
Okay, so guys, name the only host location in Ireland that was not Dublin.
Oh, hey. Wasn't it Cork?
Yes. Can you name where in Cork?
Oh, God. No.
We can give you half a point for that one. Joan?
Can I answer?
Yeah?
Mill Street?
Yes. I think we should give them half a point each.
Yeah, they get half a point.
Yeah, okay.
Mill Street, basically, was it
Yeah,
a equestrian
Louise.
center? It's
Sorry?
like a shed thing? Equestrian
A shed
center?
thing. Well, did you see the big stadium that's going to be in Mayo?
No.
Yeah, so I saw, maybe it was fake news, but I saw during the week that they're building this new gas stadium that'll be indoor, outdoor, and it'll have enough, it'll be like stadium size for we could host the Eurovision. So just
Ooh.
side note.
I mean, it's just lining up, isn't it? It sounds quite good.
Lesley 2021, Mayo 2022. And
Imagine Mayo 2022.
Timing is everything. Oh my God.
2022.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to.
Good
That was
reference.
good. Good.
Support the
pulling.
Irish artists. Support
Yeah,
the Irish artists. I
no,
love it.
Mhm.
it's with something else as well. Oh,
Okay, guys, next question. How many times has Ireland sent an entry in its native tongue?
Iago, can we hear something there?
Just get
Yeah.
Yeah,
4 times?
incorrect.
2.
Incorrect.
1?
Correct.
Never.
Ceol Grawl, 1 time.
I
Yeah.
got it.
Yep,
No.
Ceol Grawl.
Oh.
I'm losing track of points. I think we're on 2.5 each.
Yeah.
Something
Leslie,
like
I think I saw a question actually in the chat asking about Irish language and ever performing a Eurovision song in it. Has that ever crossed your mind, or was that ever anything discussed, like bringing
Well,
the language to contest?
Considering my Leave Insert result, I really don't think that's a great idea.
I'm a fluent
mean-
speaker. I'll help you write it and you can just practice it.
Okay. I could look at it, but we'll see. I mean, it's hard enough getting the melody right with English words as it is, but I appreciate any country that can do it in their own native language. I mean, that is a whole other task in itself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a few people that are relating here. There's Kevin. I relate, Leslie. The Leave Insert must have been difficult.
Oh my God, my math and my Irish disaster.
Irish language is like not easy. The different letters that they put together and they make a completely different sound to how they look. I'm like, okay.
It's the most beautiful language in the world. It really is.
It
I
is gorgeous, yeah.
I can only bless myself.
That's all you need.
That's all you
Yeah.
need. A good Catholic Irish boy. in you.
Yeah, no, unless the whole song is about saying hello and goodbye and count to 10, that would be all I could possibly do.
That's me with my Spanish, basically. So, okay. Next question. Is it you or I think it's me, Micheál, is it?
Yeah, I have one here. Ireland infamously sent a puppet to the Eurovision Song Contest. Can you name that puppet?
Hey. It was Dustin the turkey.
Hey.
Woo!
Iconic.
Yeah.
That was iconic. That is not appreciated enough. I'm just saying.
What was the other guy on RT then with him? Dustin and
Saki.
Saki.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was.
it was Zig and Zag, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zig and Zag were like a kind of half a generation before Dustin and Saki, and then Dustin and Saki came along.
And then, do you remember the war bags as well? There used to be that little Irish. No? Is it just me?
I remember the more bags, yeah.
War bags from Morbagland. They spoke Irish as well. I like that.
They did. I think you have to learn them in school too, no?
Oh, bring back those guys. Louise, you got a
Some
point.
Irish hangout. I love it. Lo siento, España.
We're losing people as it goes on.
It's a
Okay.
very interesting conversation indeed.
Next question is, which popular Irish television show hosted a national final format of selections for Ireland in recent years?
I love that national selection thing, Louise. I enjoyed that.
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Sorry. So which popular Irish television show hosted a national final format of selection in recent years?
I can't remember the name.
Lesley.
Was it Ireland's Got Talent?
It was not.
Okay, I thought The Voice or Ireland's Got
You
Talent.
performed on this show.
The Late Late.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you see,
Oh, that's it.
I
Yeah.
have blacked out the Late Late performance in my mind. That
Fair.
never even happened. So, the Late Late. I just thought that was they always did the national selection on the Late Late.
For a couple of years, it was just a bit of personally, I thought it was a bit of a strange one, because to bring like a Eurovision song from that small studio to an arena, to me, just feels a bit, I don't know, doesn't place with me, but that's where I was for a couple of years. So.
I gotcha. Well, while we're on the Late Late, I have to apologize to everybody exclusively. I
No.
think on Eurovision Hub, because I have to say that was an absolute atrocious performance. I had a terrible tech night, and no, it's just a very honest thing that I do want to say. It was so bad, and I apologize to all the fans. I had an in-ear issue, and it was just so that was not what was going to happen on May 16th. So anyway, now that you said Late Late.
May we say that we saw yesterday your performance at the Eurovision Spain pre-party at home, and it was just so amazing. It was the first performance of the night, and it was just so energetic and great.
True fact.
It was a great start for the show. So congratulations.
Spain loves you.
We do.
I like to be honest with everybody, especially when it comes to live performances. So
I've been in that studio. I've heard songs in that studio. I've seen them on the TV. Most of the time, they're not spot on. So don't worry. Do not worry about it. Miceal, do you have one more?
I do indeed. So, who was the last Irish artist to successfully qualify to the grand final? Lesley got it? Yes, Lesley.
Ryan O'Shaughnessy.
Woo! Leslie's killing this.
Yes.
I love it. Ryan O'Shaughnessy was so good. Big fan.
Yeah.
I love the staging.
The staging was cool.
Beautiful staging.
So beautiful. Yeah.
I love what it stood for too. Such a good message.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, there's one more from me, and then one more each from myself and Miceal. So the next one is,
one up. I forgot. Hang on.
Did you forget? Oh yeah. Okay, so my second last one is, which famous Irish queens represented us 2 years in a row?
Do you guys want to?
Joan.
Are we talking about Jedward?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I got my lipstick on, here I come. They were great. So much energy. Okay, Miceal.
I love this game. I'm loving it.
Te amo. I love you, Iago. We'll do a Spanish round the next time, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Miceal and I have one more kind of related question each.
Yes. So the penultimate question for you guys is, Louise recently met a well-loved Irish Eurovision artist from 2003. Who was it?
Universo.
Joan.
Mickey Hart.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've got the world tonight. Let's hold on together. That's my favorite rock girl kids. I love that song.
He's from like down the road. I remember like Derry loved him. Wee Mickey Joe Hart from down the road, and has a wee green guitar.
yeah, that green guitar was like a whole big thing about the green guitar. I remember.
Such a sweetheart, that man. He is so lovely.
So good. Great Irish entry.
Definitely.
I remember
And
Eurostar as well. It was a great show.
Eurostar. Oh yeah, did you watch that, Lesley?
Yeah, I was trying to think what the show was. I didn't want to interrupt and ask what it was again, but that's where they got Mickey from, right?
Yeah. And then we had Chris Doran, 2004, If My World Stopped Turning.
And then
Donna and Joe.
I love that song.
Love question mark.
Yeah. Yes, Donna Joe, that's right.
Oh, throwback. Okay, and the last question is, where is it? Oh yeah. There is one Eurovision winner who hails from Miceal's city. Who is it?
Hey.
We Dari. Lesley.
Dana.
Yay!
Okay.
Everything.
Remind me of you.
Snowdrops and daffodils. I think every Irish child learned that song in primary school.
100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We just sort of know it. I don't know how, but everyone knows it. Like, especially here in Derry.
It's a bit like our national anthem in some ways.
It totally is.
Great, we love Eurovision culture at school. Perfect.
Yeah.
I like to think of Yolanda Spot, but
Don't tell Johnny Logan that. He's convinced the national anthem is Why Me.
I adore Why Me. Oh.
Joanne's a big
Same.
fan of Irish songs. He really is.
Mhm.
Talk about fantastic songwriter.
Yeah, for sure. Hails from Melbourne as well originally. So
Right.
really, he's Australia's first entrant into Eurovision, technically.
Hmm.
Fun fact for you all. Well, I think it's fair to say that Ireland won.
Yeah, congratulations, Ireland.
Woo!
We haven't won since 1996, but we're coming.
You're so used to Eurovision wins.
Yeah.
Yes,
We did number 8. Come on.
we do. Well, we know,
Come on,
where
Lesley.
we know where we're hosting it. We just don't know what the song is yet.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all we need.
Ready for it.
Alrighty, so that was pretty fun, our game. Thank you for taking part. I think we should take a couple of more questions from the chat before we wrap up. Any burning questions for Lesley? I did see one earlier I was interested in asking you, Lesley, that came from the chat, but I can't remember who asked it. And it was, if you could steal any of the Eurovision 2020 songs, which one would you like to steal?
Wow, great question. Whew. If I could steal any of the songs. Oh God, you got me. Oh, can I steal one that almost made it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Bulletproof.
Oh, taste.
Taste.
Taste, yeah.
Yeah.
See the hair.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Do you watch Melody Festival, or did you just like hear it through like being involved?
Sorry?
Do you watch Melody Festival?
Of course, yeah, 100%. Again, like back to I lived in Stockholm for 2 years, so I have a huge. I'm always following what's happening in the Swedish pop writing. Anyway, never mind with when the daughter and the mama's drama and everything was going on. I've been following it because I like Take a Chance as well. I thought that was fairly up there as far as the Eurovision song was going to be, and also I wanted to watch the competition. Too. I'm still competitive, but I loved Bulletproof as well as Move. I thought Move would have been fantastic on the night as well, and I actually spoke exclusive for you guys. I spoke just last week to Eric, the producer and writer of Bulletproof, and we're gonna do some work together very, very soon on something. So
Great.
Yes, Lesley.
Excited.
That was a
Love
good
that.
answer there. I'm seeing a lot of people asking about the staging plans, but I did ask her earlier, guys. But you know, it was sourced externally, right, Lesley?
yeah, so it was going to be with This Is Pop Baby. Philly McMahon was our creative director, and again, I think I can kind of talk for him a little bit in this. Is that we don't want to give away what it would have been. I think it would even sell it short to just discuss what it was going to be. It was going to be fantastic and really work great with the song. And I think people would have been like very affected and moved by the end kind of it all. But again, I don't want to say too much because it won't do it justice. And I think he and I, if we get the opportunity to do anything next year, we'll just take it to the next place. So I want to give us at least a bit of a stage to kind of work off of, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question too. If you will have to choose an artist from this year, from this Eurovision year, to collaborate with, who would it be?
Oh, another great question. I mean, I think just vocally, I would love to do maybe like a duet ballad with Italy. His vocals, I feel like, could work kind of well with mine. Because he's got such a powerful voice, and I feel like we could do something like very beautiful, but like very big by the end of the song. So I think maybe Italy from 2020 this year.
So much taste. That was my favorite this year. I love Fire Mori.
Was it? Oh yeah, I wonder, what were all your favorite songs from this year?
Ooh, it's so hard to pick one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Like Story of My Life was in my top 10.
Okay.
I liked probably the most Italy, Germany, and the Mamas, Sweden.
Yeah.
My favorite was the Netherlands, Grow. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I love Bulgaria and Iceland.
Yeah, totally. It was a good
I
one.
would say Russia,
Yeah.
Israel, and Albania.
Yeah, they were in a lot of top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
My completely favorite was Bulgaria. Yeah.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, it was a good one.
Mm.
That's what makes as well like Eurovision just so much, like it makes it so much more exciting on the night, and that like you've got fans like us who all chat all the time and agree on so many things, but we also disagree on so many things, and our tastes are so different. So that's why it's a bit of a bummer for, well, a lot of a bummer for all of us that it's not happening, because we'd all love to know how the results would have went and how our favorites would have done in place. But yeah, I guess like what I'm so grateful for this season is, even though we haven't had the contest, at least we still have like the artists like yourselves that we can stream and support and follow. So
Exactly. Like, can you imagine if the cancellation was announced before we had all the songs? Like,
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, the cancellation is already terrible, but if we didn't have the songs just to have something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been rough.
Totally.
I'm just gonna quick look through the chat. Joanne, did you have a request for Lesley actually?
Yes, I do. Because there's this poll on the Instagram of Eurovision where they gave the fans the option to choose for you to sing between two songs, and your choice, your requests are Too Late for Love and In Your Eyes, the 1993 winner. I would really love to hear you sing In Your Eyes, because I love that song. I was born in 1993, and I would just adore to hear you sing it.
Yeah, not right now. I'm kidding. No, and I felt like I spent ages trying to pick between which two songs for people to vote, because there's so many good songs. So I think obviously we'll do this Eurovision at home concert in the next few weeks, or next weekend, that will air. But I'll sing that song eventually.
Okay. I'll keep in touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I promise, because I love it too. I absolutely so much.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll be waiting for that, Lesley.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You're like, hello, what are you doing?
Oh. Somebody has asked, they must be quite a fan of yours, Lesley, will you be looking at doing some shows across the UK or across Europe or Ireland when things quieten down? It would be a brilliant night out to see you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. If it is at all possible, you know, to hit some of the places, especially where I would have been going to for the pre-parties. I would love to, and at least do some kind of show with Story of My Life. I think it's only fair for people. I don't feel it's nice that obviously we couldn't help it. I don't feel it's nice giving fans all this energy and then completely disappearing. So yeah, I would love to do some shows as soon as I possibly can, get all around Europe. But then I think, to be honest, I'll get straight into the studio as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gonna see if we have any lasting questions from the chat.
There's actually a really nice message here, Lesley. I think you really like to see it, from Miles Johnson. He's always on here, so hey, Miles, again. Your song helped my cousin come out as gay, and now he's the biggest Euro fan. Hugs from Wexford, Ireland.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
Oh, that's nice.
Bravo, Miles. Tell your cousin hello and fantastic. Good job being yourself. That makes me so happy. That's the best. That's winning as it is. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank
And
you
I
Miles,
love.
for sharing that.
Sorry, Micheál.
I was just going to say thanks, Miles, for sharing that. Like, I'm sure Lesley really appreciates that her music can do that for other people. So
I'm
Yeah.
delighted. That was the whole point of this song, was for everyone to be like excited that we've an up tempo, but honestly for people to just tell their own story, whatever that is, coming out, yes, or being like, I do not want to be in this job anymore. Like I'm out of here. So the fact that it's done that for one person, brilliant.
Yeah, and I was going to say as well, I loved your music video, how there was just all different types of people with different kinds of lives and different stories of their lives. And I feel like we replicated that so well in the video. What was that like to shoot and to create?
Oh, it was fantastic. Again, this is Pop Baby. They got Kate Dolan involved doing the whole video. And she wanted to cast and stay true to the song people that are actually out there telling their own stories. So each one, and I must do a proper like full spreadsheet or like list of the characters and everyone in that video, because they are out there living their own truth, not in a cheesy way at all. And the day was amazing. Everyone just got in and had their own dance, their own fun. And the end scene, we all just kind of came together and had like a bit of a Christine and the Queen's party with the smoke and everything going. And it was just great. Everyone was just so excited that it was the Eurovision, and it was all still quiet and hush hush, and they were just pumped to be, I think, in part of something different.
amazing. I bet it was such a fun day. Just everyone, as you say, living their truth and being their authentic selves and owning their power.
Yep, exactly. But let me ask you guys before you go. If I were to come back next year, who wants an up-tempo? Who wants a ballad?
Ooh.
I want an up tempo
Oh,
At tempo, yeah.
because I like Story of My Life so much that I want like the 2.0 version of it.
Noted. So,
At tempo for me too, yeah.
okay.
agreed.
I'd say up tempo, but like I said, I heard your voice when you did the Netherlands cover, and I was like, shit. Like, imagine something like that.
All right. Noted. I just want to make sure I've got everyone's
But-
thoughts on this.
I imagine Lesley in the States like being, the most powerful woman of the year. I mean, like owning the stage. So I need the up tempo song.
Though I have to say that it would also be very interesting to see you with a ballad, because
Yeah.
then you would have two two different songs in that Eurovision legacy forever. This up tempo that is Story of My Life, but then also a powerful and beautiful ballad. So I don't know. I just don't know. But
And I also,
anything would be nice.
if you go next year, people are always going to start comparing it to Story of My Life. So if you give them
Totally.
something different, you're kind of you're avoiding it in a sense. It's brand new. You can't even compare it. So there's so many
Yeah.
things to think about, isn't there?
If she wants to do an up tempo song, let her do an up tempo song. Okay.
Leslie,
I know,
just
you
use
see,
it.
that's
Give it-
it. You make it pop, you make it rock. It's hard to please everybody, but and that's a big if. But I just like to know, especially where the real fans' heads are at, because it will dictate where I'm going to take it.
And I think,
I mean,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Iago.
For me, what I think it happens to some people, some performers who has up tempo songs, is that maybe we really like the song, but then in the stage, there are some people that just don't have that powerful spirit. But I really see Lesley like during the performance in Eurovision. So I think it would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we say this a lot on the Hangout, and just in general, we chat amongst ourselves. The songs that do well are the songs that are most authentic to the like songwriter and the singer. Like Duncan Lawrence last year, Mahmood came with Solvi, Netta with Toy. It's from them, it's theirs, and it really translates through the screens. So let's say as long as you're doing you, girl, we're like behind you. You know what I mean? Like,
good, great, perfect, awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me on, guys. I so appreciate it. I so appreciate what you do.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for the cake. It made my birthday.
I know, I'm going to eat it. I will eat it.
Okay. By the time you get it from New York to Dublin, it won't be the same. So.
No. Can we pose for a little screenshot so that we can get it on the story? We did it with Joan's Tears last year, so hopefully we have.
Hold on, I got to get this guy in.
Get the guy. Oh, there we go. We'll just pause for like a few seconds.
One.
Oh, ready? You ready, Louise?
Yeah.
We'll get a screenshot from that.
Lesley,
thanks a million.
Thank you, Lesley.
Thank you so much.
We love
you. Guys.
You.
Have a great day. Happy birthday, and I'll see you very soon.
Thanks,
Lesley.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone in the chat, for tuning in. And we will see you next week. Thanks again. We appreciate all your lovely comments. And we'll see you next week.
Sending love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.